This WISE weekly wrap-up asks what do NAEP and interstate rest stops, triage, and traffic have in common? Buckle that seatbelt. I'm proposing a hard stop. The results of the National Assessment of Educational Progress, NAEP, or the nation's report card, for each state confirm the other somber data that's been coming out the past weeks. Learning loss from COVID's impact will not be corrected with Band-Aids, but requires a major treatment plan. A quick rehash of the disturbing details. For most states, our K-12 students have fallen significantly behind, especially Black and Latino students. Another national version of NAEP 2 months ago showed 2 generations of progress wiped out for many students. Most states' standardized test scores show the same. And recently, ACT reported the lowest results in 30 years with a record percentage not showing college ready in any of 4 major areas. This isn't football, enough piling on what must be done. First, let's look at the current situation for most educators. Before COVID, our education system was making limited progress at best. During COVID, in 13,000 school districts in every state, education leaders have been forced to conduct systems and school triage, struggling to meet day-to-day challenges just to sustain an education and mental health pulse. When you're exhausted by unrelenting challenges, it means never having any time to focus on what you want to come next. So let's turn to traffic. Soon, millions of us are going to hit the interstates for Thanksgiving. Bumper to bumper, long tie-ups, reckless drivers, calming restless children, figuring out how to change crowded lanes, desperately checking the GPS for a better way, all traffic triage. And the longer the trip, the greater the strain. Yet invariably, we see nothing but brake lights for mindless miles. So what can we do? We pull into a rest stop. We come full stop, park, and often just reflect. We know we're losing travel time. The 18-wheelers still flow by. We'll arrive later than planned, maybe disrupt some schedules, but we're preparing ourselves for the next leg. We're taking another look, examining alternatives, and often planning another route that we'd not considered before. It's time for education and policymakers, school, district, and state to pull into the education rest stop while there's still time. Unlike driving in heavy traffic, you can still chart the route you want. For many school districts, you still have large amounts of unobligated federal ESSER funds, federal COVID relief dollars that you need to plan how to use, but you have less than 2 years, according to the federal deadline, to do this. Plus, by working with state and local leaders, you can coordinate their additional COVID relief dollars and then throw in the new transportation and infrastructure funds to begin building the system you want, not the one you had. So here are some rest stop steps before you jump back behind the wheel. First, decide this trip will be different, not just the same drive. That means deciding what type of education system you want. Second, begin sharing this vision with those who need to be involved. Work with those state and local leaders to redesign social service delivery and providing universal internet access. Particularly communicate with teachers that this means jointly redesigning their work, not just adding more layers of stress. Third, figure out first steps and the greatest change priorities for your system, your district, your school. Early literacy and mathematics are fundamental in many ways. While you address immediate learning loss, how are you also going to institute long-term improvements? And fourth, before you pull back into the on-ramp, back into the flow, vow that next year, the drive will be much different than this year. I stress this critical time because continuing the same fast rushing education traffic patterns is no win for students, for schools, for systems. It's time to pull over, plan, and proceed differently.